In this video, we'll assemble some of our straight track pieces together to get a longer piece of track, and then we'll go ahead and put our train engine on it and start animating it so that it will move forward and backward on the straight track. So what I'm going to do is go up here to File and go to New Design, and then I'm going to go ahead and save this as a straight track assembly. Okay, and what we need to do is to bring in one of our straight track pieces. And then I'm just going to go ahead and click OK here. And then let's go ahead and ground this piece since this is our first one. And this is just a 12-inch singular piece of track. Let's go ahead and get at least a couple more pieces on here so that we have a longer track. So what I'm going to do is go up to Create and then go down here to Pattern and then Rectangular Pattern. And then under Object Type, make sure that Components is selected. And then for our objects, I'm going to click on the track piece. And then for the axis, I'm going to zoom in here so you can see it, but we want to click on the axis that is going this direction, which in this case is the y-axis for me, or the green line. So I'll click on that. And then by default, it is going to select 3 total, including the one that we have. And then if I click this arrow and start to drag them, you can start to see the track pieces. But what you want to do is drag the pieces out to the end where this piece will end here. So since I have 2 more, it needs to go out 12 and then another 12 after that. So it needs to go out 24 inches. And you'll notice that that one will snap together to the one we already have, and these two kind of snap together here. And then just go ahead and click OK. Now, one thing you'll notice is this puts them together and it looks like they are connected, but if we click and drag one of them, you'll notice they are actually not constrained to each other. We still can't move this one because this one is constrained, it's grounded, but these other 2 are able to freely move. So I'm going to undo so that one moves back. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go up to Assemble, and then we'll go down to As Built Joint. And then what we can do here is we can click on our starting one, and then this next piece, and what that will do is that will automatically apply a rigid constraint to these 2 pieces as they are sitting right now, which we know that they are correctly positioned to each other. We just need to lock them in place. So that's what this is going to do. So now you'll notice we can't move either of these pieces. We can still move this one though, so we need to do the same thing for this bottom piece. So let me undo to move that back. Go to As Built Joint, and then we'll click on those 2 pieces and click OK. And now you'll notice that our track piece cannot move at all. Okay, so we'll go ahead and save that. And then let's go ahead and bring our train assembly in. So I'll click and drag that in. Oh, let me undo that. I don't know what just happened there. Click and drag that in again. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag it, and we're just going to position it somewhere here in this empty space, not on top of the track. And then one thing that will be kind of nice is we're going to have to click on the bottom of the train. So if we flip the train kind of upside down, it doesn't really matter what angle it is, but some angle so you can see the bottom of the train, because we're going to be clicking a joint where we're going to need the bottom surface of the train. So go ahead and click OK like that. And then what we'll do to position the train on the track is we're going to add a joint, a slider joint, because obviously the track is going to move and slide kind of back and forth like this along the track here. So we'll go up to the joint tool, and then we will select, I'm going to select the middle part of the bottom of the train right here. And then I will click the middle of the track piece right where this dot is right here. So the middle of the top of this first track piece. And you'll notice that it'll just move the body. You'll notice the wheels and all the other parts are going to be over here. That stuff is all going to move after we finish setting up the offsets and the other options and stuff for this. So one thing that you will notice, and if I click front here, the train is just kind of resting on top right here. And if we were to click OK now, notice the wheels all move into position, but the wheels are kind of cutting into the track. And you can kind of actually see the top part of the track there going above the wheel. So we actually don't want to do this the way it is with the train just resting right there. We want to lift it up off of the bottom a little bit. So I'm going to go back into this joint, right click on it, go to edit. And then we want to lift this up a little bit. And the value that we want to use is actually 0.375 for that. Put inches. 0.375 inches is the value we want to use for that. And then, like I said before, this is not going to be a rigid constraint. We want to use a slider constraint. So let's go ahead and change that option. And I'm going to angle it so we can see what direction it's sliding. So if I click animate, you'll notice it is sliding up and down. We do not want a train that slides like that. So let's try to pick a different axis. We choose x-axis. Notice that slides kind of left and right from the track. Again, that's not what we want. Let's try y. That is how we want the train to be sliding and moving on the track. So we're going to select the y option for that. And then the last thing that we'll do is let's go ahead and move the train so it starts kind of toward the back part of the track rather than in the middle where it is right now. So I'm just going to click this and kind of move it to the back. We move it about 3 inches back or so, so that it's kind of toward the back part of here. All right, and then I'll click OK. And I think that looks pretty good. So you'll notice right now you will be able to slide the train back and forth. Notice that it can go off of the track. It goes off the track right here, and it goes off the track right there. So similar to what we did with the selfie stick, we're going to add some constraints to it. So we'll go over here to where our slider constraint is and then click our joint limits. And then we're going to want a minimum and a maximum. Okay. So for our minimum, I believe for mine, negative is actually going this direction. It's going forward. So let me just test that. I'm just going to type in negative 30 inches. So notice negative 30, if I click on this, that goes pretty much right to the end. It might go a little bit too far. Maybe I should make that like 28 or 29. Let's see. 28's a little short. 29 I think is pretty good. So we'll go 29. And then maximum I believe is just going to stay at 0. Because 0 would be at starting position right here. So we're just going to leave that and I'm going to click OK. And then we're just going to try and drag it again. Notice when I drag it, I can't drag it any further past that right there. So that's good. It's locking there. And I can't drag it any further past this. So it looks like our limits are set correctly. Okay, the last thing that we're going to do, and let me click and drag this so I can animate it, is we're going to add another motion link similar to what we did previously, so that we're going to add a motion link between the slider and one of the wheel revolutes, so that as it slides down the track, the wheels also turn. So we'll go to Assemble, Motion Link, Capture Position, and then we will go ahead and click on our slider that we just added. And then I'm going to zoom in here to this front right wheel, and then we'll click on this constraint right here, the revolute that is between the wheel and the body. Okay. And you'll notice that it will start turning and moving down the track. The distance that we want to set here, so we want to figure out the distance. So as the wheel turns once, what is the amount of distance that it goes forward? And what that will be is the circumference of the wheel. So to find the circumference of the wheel, we just take pi, so 3.14, times whatever the diameter of the wheel is, and that is 2.25 inches for this. And if you notice, it's kind of hard to tell because mine is moving pretty quickly, but if you notice the direction that these are moving in, when the train is going this way forward, the wheels are moving forward. When the train is moving back, the wheels are moving backwards, which is what I want. But if you need to reverse it, you can check that option if your wheels are not turning in the correct direction. Mine I do not want that checked because I can notice, even though it's moving kind of quickly right now, I can notice that it is moving in the correct direction with that unchecked. Okay, so go ahead and click OK. And then if you want to animate your train to see that again, what you do is you just right click on the slider and go down to animate model, and it will animate your train. And that is how you kind of assemble your train and animate it to get it to move along the straight track piece.